Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna answer a question that I received in YouTube of Ernest Gildan. I hope the pronounce of your name is correct. And his question was about a minor scale that I was using to improvise yesterday, and he asked me if it was the Aeolian sharp 7th scale. I'm gonna take this theme of Ernest to talk more about the different scales and how to know easily the difference between the minor scales to study the Brazilian accent. Alright? If you are arriving today, I'm Luciano Ruas from the Brazilian Accent Improvisation, and this channel I teach you how to play Brazilian music in an authentic way, with language, with the details, the right details that form this sound that you know, that a lot of people of different places in the world like. Alright? I'm gonna start talking about one thing that's important to know to differentiate the minor scales. And I'm gonna start with the Dorian mode, because the Dorian mode that's I was using to play that improvise I've done in the Northeast style. Alright? So I was improvising with a basis of the baião or forró. This is the Dorian mode, and one thing I have to say, I think it's very interesting to say about the minor scales, is that most of them have the same first intervals. So you start with the root note, the major second, minor third, perfect fourth, and fifth, perfect fifth. And to differentiate the minor scales, the common minor scales, I'm not counting the Frisian and the Locrian as minor scales. You have to thinking on just on the sixth and the seventh. So in the Dorian mode that we play the Northeast style, Brazilian style, we use the major 6 and the minor 7. This is the most common scale using minor Northeast Brazilian music, alright? When we are just playing in some chords, we have the opportunity of improvising using the different scales of that chord. I'm in G minor, for example, Dorian. I can use the Aeolian mode. I'm gonna have the 6th. about here, but I won't talk about that. So this minor 6 that I put can create a sensation of the 4th grade. Alright, because we can make the arpeggio of C minor and create this sensation. Alright, and now let's go to this scale. Remind that Aeolian mode has the minor 6th and the minor 7th. Just the 2 notes, because all others are equal for these minor scales we are studying. Alright, and let's go to the answer of Ernest. If I was using the minor Aeolian with sharp 7th, I can say, Ernest, that this is the same scale as the minor harmonic scale. What does the harmonic scale has? The minor 6th and the major 7th, or some people here in Brazil call sharp 7, but I prefer to call the 7th of the major 7th because it can seem like sharp 7th can sound like an octave. Alright, so we can use this different sounding like, and we can create some different arpeggios like I said in the other live. So this is the minor harmonic scales. So remind this: minor 6th and major 7th. And for the other scales, we can have also the minor melodic scales. What is the difference of the minor melodic scale? Melodic has the major 6th and major 7th, so you can think in E natural in this case and F sharp. Some of you can say, but the minor melodical scale has some notes when it's going as ascending, and some notes, different notes when you are descending. I used to think 2 different scales for each situation. I can break this upwards and downwards motion of the scale in 2 different scales, because when we return the melodic scale, we return Aeolian. So no problem to use. It's not common in the traditional language to do this difference between the upwards and downwards motion, but it's alright. You can explore this also. Sorry. one song called Feira de Mangaio that starts with this motion of the Iolian scale. It starts in another tonality. This theme sounds Iolian. I'm improvising now in the Iolian scale. Let's try to use, because we have a little space to improvise, not so much, but let's use the minor harmonic like Ernest asked me. Works in the street chords, the root chord, the fourth grade that's subdominant, and the fifth grade that's dominant. It sounds okay in all of them. Change the harmony, and it's not needed this scale, but so this is the minor harmonic scale. I hope I have understood your question right. If I understood wrong, just write down the comments. I'll have pleasure in answering. All right. I would like to say another opportunity that yesterday I didn't say about the minor scales. That is another kind of minor scale we find that is similar to the diminished chord, because it's a scale with the minor fifth and the major seventh. minors. Another important thing that I have to remind you is that when we pianists are playing the different scales, we can create we adapt these chords. We can, when we change, for example, we are in G minor 7, we improvise in the Dorian mode, the Aeolian mode, all scales that has the minor 7th. But when we change this for a scale that doesn't have the 7th, we change together the intervals. We use just the 5th. We use the flat 5th, like I've shown. And when you are playing in group, you can practice to differentiate these scales and change together with the musician that's playing with you. I recommend, if you have some friends to play together with them, and you can create a little practice of the different scales in one chord, because you're training the ear of the musicians that play with you to recognize these variations. So this is a very interesting practice, and it's gonna give you more ear to play and to hear. You're gonna recognize these different scales when you see some musician playing. So I hope I have answered your question, and I hope you have enjoyed this content also. And just to remind you, try to think the minor scales as they have the same 5 notes at the beginning: the root, the major 2nd, major 3rd, 4th, perfect 4th and 5th, and the difference is on the 6th and the 7th. To remind you, the natural minor or Aeolian mode, you have the minor 6th and minor 7th. In the minor harmonic, we have the minor 6th and major 7th. I think the harmonic, I remind an Oriental song. It reminds us Arabian music or something like that, alright? The minor melodic, you can remember that's major 6th and major 7th, or thinking in a more complete way, major 6th and major 7th upwards, and downwards the minor 6th and minor 7th. I hear in my classes I tell my students that melodical scale has its sister of the major scale, because if you take the major scale, all intervals are perfect or major. And in the minor melodic scales, the difference is just on the third. The third is minor, but you have all other characteristics of the major scale. And talking about the modes, the Dorian mode, you have major 6 and minor 7, and you can use the diminished mode. It has a minor 6. It's this is different because you have a flat 5th and a flat 6th, and a major 6th and major 7th. This is a little different, but it's an interesting sound when you're solo, when you want to get a result with more dissonance in your playing. Alright? So that was it. Thanks for watching. Every day I'm doing lives about these details about Brazilian music, how to play it in a better, with more language, more accent, and I hope you have enjoyed. Thanks and bye bye, see you tomorrow.